Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Reseller Information Network. It is me, Tim, from Over the Years. Today, we are going to be shipping two extremely large vases. So, we thought this would be a good opportunity to provide you guys a little bit of information and comfort level as far as what it's like to ship extremely large items, especially extremely large breakable items. So, for those of you that are watching live, we appreciate you all being here. For those who will be watching when this video comes out, we appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed already. Big shout out to all of our channel members as well. I see Pinjo is in here right now. We'll go ahead and drop that at the bottom of the screen. Big thank you to all of our channel members. We appreciate you all as always. Today, we're going to be shipping two extremely large vases. I'm going to show you the vases, and I'm going to bring the camera over to the table so you guys can kind of get a better view as to what it's actually like to ship two extremely large vases. So, this is vase number one. You can see this is an extremely large vase. Actually, very, very pretty vase. I sold these two vases for, I had them up for a while, probably like, I don't know, 6 months or so. They're about 14 inches tall, okay? I've had them up for about 6 months. I had it listed, I think, for like $250. I took a best offer for $120. Let me see if I can go in here. So, vase number two. So this is two large vases, one order. These are both have to be wrapped, packed, and shipped. We're going to do that live for you guys right now. So we're going to put one of them back because we're going to do one at a time. Yeah, you should be able to get a good view. You guys got a good view there. So like I said, this is 14 inches tall. So this is an extremely large vase here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, there we go. We're looking at about 14 inches here of vase. First things first is we're going to wrap it in. We are going to wrap it in packing paper. And the way that we're going to do that is just going to gently roll this up right here. I have really bad regular tape right now because I ran out and I have to go pick up more. All right. We're going to fold it up here. We're going to flip it around. Fold it right there. All right. This tape. All right. So now we have our item, our 14-inch vase in its first level of security, which is going to be packing paper, okay? Now we're going to use small bubble wrap, okay? And it's good too because with the packing paper, now you have the ability to tape this directly to the item because you have the packing paper. So it gives it that nice tight snug. A lot of times you see people just kind of slap small bubble wrap on and they don't really give it like the snug that it needs. So we're going to see. We might be able to get this. Yeah, we should be able to. Just using. All right. So now, got that there. All right. Now we're going to close these sides. All right. So you close it in the middle, which kind of allows you to get these flats here on the side. Okay. All right. Then closing up the side. Flap here. And flap there. So now we have our second layer of bubble wrap. The tricky part, which is funny because we talked about this on our latest shipping show, is, hey, Amy, bubbles in, laces out. I love it. I always put the bubbles, the bubbles on the item. So you want the flat part on the outside, the bubbles on the inside. I did flat rate shipping on this item. So I charged the buyer. Now I got lucky because the person who purchased this lives in West Virginia and it wasn't Cernock. But I charged a flat rate fee on this item and I charged $25 shipping. $25 flat rate shipping charge. Okay. So now that we have it, the problem is going to be the box. I don't know what I'm going to do for a box yet. We're going to play that fiddle when we get there. Now we're going to use big bubble wrap. Now I use a very specific big bubble wrap. It is expensive, but I love this big bubble wrap. And I think that it's the best bubble wrap in the world, okay? So we're probably going to need to do, and it cuts into these 4 rows of big bubble, okay? So now we have to just figure out how we're going to align the big bubble, okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our first piece and we're going to get it right in the center of the top here, okay? Bring you guys a little bit closer. All right, now we're going to take the second piece and we're going to create a line. We're going to go all the way around with that first layer, and then we'll work from there. Okay, so we'll flip her over here. It looks like we're going to come up a little bit short. So what we're going to do is, so now you see we have this gap right here because we couldn't get all the way around with the pieces that we used. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this one piece and we're going to put it right here like that. Okay. See, a lot of this is like playing Tetris on very, big items, oddly shaped items. The more you do it, the better you get, obviously. Okay. Now we're just going to take this one. We're going to go like that. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go like that. All right. Now, like I said, it is expensive, but it goes a long way. I find it to be extremely useful. There's a lot of flexibility with it. All right, so now we're going to take this piece here. There we go. we got another piece right here. All right. All right, so now this whole side is covered. Okay, got a little bit of cushion right there. There we go. All right, now we're gonna get this side done. Make sure you can get that there. All right. Now, I will be honest, sometimes the consistency of the bubble wrap is a little inconsistent. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that sometimes there's a row of bubbles that isn't good. But I find it useful because sometimes you don't need a whole full 4 rows. So you can just flip it over and tape it. Now you have a 3-row piece. So I just keep a bag next to me of pieces that are like scrap pieces of the big bubble because you can still use it that way. But I have been using this bubble wrap for, I don't know, 6 years or so. And I'd say my success rate of shipping Breakable just pretty well documented. All right. All right, that's the first one done. And you can see it bounces. Very good. Check, make sure that there's no issues. You never want to assume, always double check. And we're in good shape. All right, first one is done. Vase number 2. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I bought these vases on a gut feeling because I got a really good deal on them from a friend of the family. And it did take a while to sell. I will tell you that I probably, based on the way that I shop now, I probably would not buy these vases again unless I knew for a fact they would sell for over $200. Now, it did sell for $120. I did make good money. All right, first layer of protection, packing paper. And you can see the roll it comes in is very, I mean, this is like almost done right here. That's the big bubble wrap. We're making our flaps, as you guys can see. I always like to tape the middle part first, so it gives me a little bit of flexibility on the flaps. All right. So now, second layer of protection, small bubble wrap. So we have packing paper, small bubble wrap. Now we're going to get back into the big bubble wrap. The good thing is like with let's say a teacup and saucer, I can get away with using just two pieces of this to ship a teacup and a saucer. Generally, anything that could fit in a 7x7x6, 8x8x8, those sort of things, I can use two pieces after I do the original step. So once again, we're going to start from the top. And this is also a really difficult one too, because this vase gets wider at the bottom. It's not like one shape. So, I mean, if it was like straight and didn't like flare at the bottom, then it would make it a lot easier. Or flare. This one actually flares at the top. But if it was just a straight vase, it'd be a lot easier because you could probably use a symmetrical amount of big bubble wrap pieces. But the idea here is simple. No matter what kind of material you're using, you want to be able to have layers of protection, okay? You don't want to be able to, whatever the item is that you're shipping that's breakable, whatever type of packing materials you're using, the goal is you don't want to be able to feel the item at all. How's it going, LaDonna? You don't want to be able to feel the item at all. You want to be able to have that cushion. Especially if you're dealing with, like, let's say, teapots. Right? You don't want to be able to feel the spout, feel the handle. Anything that has edges, you want to be very careful that you don't feel those edges at any point. Because that right there is a sign that it's going to break. Okay? And that is obviously, our goal is to not have anything break. That is the ultimate goal. So right now we're working on this bottom part to make sure that the pieces are all connected, because you don't want any gaps. Okay, no gaps. It makes everything a lot easier when you don't have gaps. Okay. So now we're just gonna, we're gonna need a couple pieces here. This might be a good opportunity to use one of my 3-strip pieces right there. All right. And the other thing that's super important too is if you notice this bubble wrap, it has this sort of flap here, but on the bottom is still bubble, okay? So you always want to make sure if you're connecting pieces, you want this piece to be connected to this piece. You don't ever want to connect two of the top pieces. Exactly. LaDonna knows. LaDonna sells a lot of the same sort of stuff that I sell. Okay, now we're going to see if we can use one of these 3-piecers. Oh, yeah. 3-piecer should work fine here. And see what I'm doing is you see this one is missing a row here of bubble. So I'm just adding a piece of tape and I'm folding it over. So now we have 3 rows of good bubble. And you see this gap right here is a perfect gap for a 3-row piece. Like I said, things are going to get a little tricky, though, when we try to figure out what box we're going to use. I think I have an idea for a box, but we won't know until we get this done, which we are almost done with. Okay, once again, we're filling the gap of the bubble. All right. Now we are down to the last piece here, last little section. All right, this is the last section here. All right. This go over that. There we go. All right. Now we got another little piece right here that needs to be filled. Yeah, I think the packing paper is good too, because the thing that's really good about the packing paper on the item first is that it gives you that first layer of protection, right? And then it allows you to be really tight with the small bubble because you can tape the small bubble directly to the item, as opposed to not taping it directly to the item because you don't want to put tape on the item, you know? And when we start to fill the void, I'll show you what I use to fill the box with, because I don't use this to fill a box with. I only use this to cover the item. And voila, there you have it. See that? All I feel is bubble. I don't feel any pieces of the item at all. Okay? So now we got 1 and 2. Now, earlier we were talking about how these vases have a flare. So, ideally what you want to try and do here is we're going to try and match the flares, okay? Opposite ends. So, where it flares on this side and where it flares on this side. So that way it's more flush and it's easier to put in your box. Now, this is a little bit difficult because they're both pretty bulbous at the top. So you might have to make sure that they're flat like this in order to do it. So after all the bubble wrap, these pieces are approximately 17 inches long and 8 inches wide. So we're going to need a pretty big box. Now hopefully we can figure out a box fairly easy. Don't know if this is going to work. I thought that this might work. This is an 18 by 14 by 12. So if you guys ever order eBay boxes, I always keep the box that the eBay boxes come in just in case I need a big box. And it is not going to work. All right. So we have to go to the drawing board here. Have to go to the drawing board. All right. Gonna see if we have another box in here. No, not box, not in there big enough. All right. Fun times in reality, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I preached about making sure you know how to ship something before you buy it. All right, let's turn you guys around here. See if we can get you. No, all right, here we go. All right, so this is the box we got right now. Once again, an eBay box that my boxes came in. Now this will probably have to be cut down. Oh, this is going to be funky. All right, so yeah, we can cut this down probably. All right. So the next step is going to be paper. All right. So I'm going to take these out. Never buy this vases again unless they're worth at least. So we use newspaper. Newspaper is what we use. We find it to be the best. A lot of times you can get it for free. People leave them out for recycling. I forgot how I had these on there. Angle. All right. There we go. Just like that. There we go. Perfect. All right. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to fill this box with paper. What you want to do is you want to make it so that there's no touching of the item to the box, okay? So you're basically creating a net, okay? So now we have the box cut down. We're going to make sure you can see there's massive amounts of paper in here covering all angles of the vase. solid. Solid. All right. We are almost there. There she goes. All right. Now you want to make sure you tape every single corner. That is the one mistake most people make. They do not tape every single corner. For some reason, people like to tape the middle of the box. Like that's going to protect it. I learned this early on from my guy, Steve, Back Alley Trash and Treasures. He says, always tape up the corners because that's where it can bust boxes. So like right here, this is the most important piece to tape right here. Always want to tape that corner. All right, let me make sure I got everything here. And in this case, because we scored the box, we want to tape the sides too. No room for error. Yeah. You get a little taste of the Washington Post. I grew up reading that paper. All right. Now, I'm going to get the bottom. That was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Now, the question is going to be shipping. How much are we going to shipping? So if you guys are just joining us, I charged flat rate $25 shipping. Luckily, the person who purchased it lives in West Virginia, which is not too far from me. I think we're good. There we go. All right. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Two 14-inch by probably 8-inch vases. Highly breakable, highly collectible. Worth good money. Packed. Okay. So, now we're going to see how much this is going to cost us. Now, obviously, we're going to have to put insurance on this. That's for sure. What did I do with my tape measure? Oh, here it is. All right. So, we are 23 and a half. By 15 and a half. By 10 and a half. All right. We packed two 12-inch, two 14-inch tall ceramic vases. 10 pounds, 10.7 ounces. All right. Let's see how much this is going to cost. 23.5 inches by 15.5 inches by 10.5 inches, 10 pounds, 10.7 ounces. Oh my God. Do you know how much it would cost to send this priority? To ship that priority from DC to West Virginia would cost $61.71. If we were to ship it ground advantage, $45.94. Now, this is where it comes in clutch. Items like this come in clutch. UPS ground, $15.97. UPS, $15.95. So we'll ship this UPS. We'll have to add insurance to it. So that would make the cost go up a little bit. Put $150 insurance, which won't be too dramatic, but if it's over $100, I always buy. Well, yes, this is a big thing. So generally, an item like that, because I do 99% of my items are flat rate shipping. So I got lucky in this case because I charged $25 because it got bought by somebody who was in my region. If this were going to California, it probably would have been $40, $50 for UPS. So yeah, I try to find that medium range on something like that. Moving forward, I probably would not have bought these vases unless they were worth more money. Because I made $100 on these vases, right? But it took 6 months. I thought I was going to make double that. I didn't. I took an offer because I'm trying to move inventory right now. So I made $100 profit, no problem. But I probably wouldn't have bought these vases unless I was more, because I took a gamble on them. It wasn't like there was comps on these. You know what I'm saying? They were very, very unique. So if I were to take a gamble like that, I would have liked to have had more concrete evidence that they were worth $200 or more. Now, I could have sat on these for another 6 months until I got $200, right? But at this point in the game, I'm like, 6 months, let's go, out the door. Secondly, I probably would have done calculated shipping. I think I pushed my luck a little bit on those vases. Sometimes I get a little greedy and I'm like, I could do flat rate on that. I pushed my luck. Should have done calculated shipping. So hopefully, one of the other reasons why I wanted to do this is because if you guys watched our last video about shipping, these are things that I talked about as far as advice. And I wanted you all to see that a lot of things that we talk about are because we've made the mistakes in the past ourselves. Okay? So it's not like we're just trying to tell you that this is how we do things because this is how we do things and we want to tell the world how we do it and you should do it how we do it. That's not what we're here for at our Reseller Information Network. A lot of what we talk about is through experience and negative experience too. And not just when we first start. You make mistakes all the time throughout your career as a reseller, right? And the people who want to try and tell you that this is the way to do it and this and that, right? They never talk about why. And this is an example, literal example of what we talked about last week, me specifically, translating to this, what I just did, right? Calculated versus flat rate shipping. buying something before you know how you're going to ship it, not being prepared for a box. I had to empty a box of turtlenecks just to put this in the box, right? And so, you know, this is just to kind of show you all that I make mistakes too. Yes, this was 6 months ago, and I probably would have done things different now. But because of what I did 6 months ago and it sold, I have to deal with it now. So for me, it's important for you all to see firsthand that what we talk about is a lot because it's what we've gone through. You know, like the most important thing is being able to learn from your mistakes and to be able to share what you learned from your own mistakes with other people so that they don't have to make the same mistakes that you made, right? Because that's what we want to do. We want to help people. If I can help somebody who may be in this situation, they may look at it completely different than I do, but at least now they have the information that I've been able to give them, and that Cernock and Leroy and Eric have been able to give everybody from the last episode to this episode. Is important for us. And so like that's our goals. We want to help. We want to help people so that they don't have to go through the same headaches that we've went through. So hopefully you all found this helpful. For those of you that are watching live right now, I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. For those of you that watch the replay, hopefully you guys find this helpful. This live, I'm going to take this live down and I'm going to kind of chop this up a little bit and put it up for a video for later this week because we weren't going to be able to record a video this week because Eric, Eric's dad has to have surgery, and Leroy Cernock and I all have really busy things going on this week. So we wanted to be able to give you guys something to watch moving forward. What's going on, Glenn? So I just hope that you all found this helpful or entertaining. Some people find it entertaining to watch me fumble around packages. But and most importantly, I hope that you guys see that what we talk about is literally from our experiences, and it's important for us. So I want to be as transparent as possible. I don't want anybody to think that I'm perfect, because let me tell you, I am far from perfect. I am a complete mess, but I'm getting better, and I'm always learning, and I'm trying to improve myself, not just as a reseller, but as a person. So we love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Thank you. Big shout out once again to all of our channel members. Thank you guys so much. Everybody enjoy the rest of their day. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much. As always, don't forget to tell a friend about RIN, Reseller Information Network. Boo 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 boo.